Nay, Baron, I'm sorry the man is your father. I would be amended to you, but it's too late, so I won't bother. Every day you become more like them, your father and brothers, poisoning your mind like they did so many others. Cut your strings, Pinocchio, be a real boy, not a puppet. When they wheel you out for the RNCA, you snub it. Pray that when they locked your father away, you walk away as a real person, not a Donald duplicate. When I think about it, I'm filled with a deep sorrow. You were just a baby, hoping for a better tomorrow, but that was taken from you in 2016 by that robber, your father. I can't begin to imagine having to listen to him. I won't beat you over the head with it. You've already heard all the shit your dad did. But if you want to get to know your pops, just listen to the last verse, kid. Dave Ivanka, Donnie Jr., Eric and Jared Kushner. This verse is for the four of you stooges, the kind of people that don't react in with disgust but with smooching. I understand he's your father, but you should have had more backbone as his sons and daughters. Y'all on Carthaginians, you're no real Luxadones. You're strutting around like a bunch of dumbos, but in your heart you're still jackasses. Use his minions, executive vice presidents, set of presidents threatening to upend our democracy with intent to circumvent the people, the institutions that elect the president. Got your cronies through the Capitol to get Mike Pence hanged, but only one person died and their blood is on your hands. If the POTUS kits with Skittles and shit, you three be the ones with poison in it. Your morals unprincipled, they do come cheap. I can't even list up the shady all day. My bars are mentioned in hours, but not in minutes. Started lowering your inhibitions when you were stretching folks for him on The Apprentice. Then when he ran for press, you were his frontline defenders. Went on the net and tweeted some shit that was offensive, conspiratorial, goofy. You'd be retweeting a white supremacist. Then you helped coronavirus, give the nation a death kiss and injected horse tranquilizer, hydroxychloroquine and bleach with a death wish. But then when you got really sick, you're into the very same hospitals you defunded. Can't live with yourself, so you project your shit onto other people so hard. I could set you up in my home theater and use you to watch Die Hard in IMAX with Dolby full stereo surround sound, because there's at least 4 of you clowns. You obsess over Hunter's laptop, about my son's drug habit, fucking bad bitches and his fat cock. Your soul's full of things that you want but haven't got, like your father's love, even when you fuck up. But I don't even know if Don Sr. is capable of love. When you were little, did you guys get hugs, or is this man so much of a thug that he'd rub even his own blood? And that's how you grew up, to be narcissistic, backstabbing, inept, and corrupt. I finished speaking to his cups, want to say goodbye, but afraid you won't understand. So as I step off the veranda, I'll say goodbye in the language that couldn't stand by you. So kids, do svidaniya. Melania, I know it must have been easy growing up in Slovenia. I imagine you didn't think you'd make it here in a millennia, but I'm sorry you had to suffer that man to come to America. I won't question why you stand by him. I understand he's your basilica. Then when he gets put in a cell, you run for the hills. I hope you got it in you, but it's okay to ask why you let him prey on your children. Look at Don Jr., Ivanka, Eric, you know what you were built. You backed him in this race, but we all saw you wasn't feeling it. It would help if you spoke up, cause honestly sometimes I don't know what your deal is. Whether you hate him or love him, it's also mysterious. We wish we could see you get serious, cause then at least we know if we'd have to feel bad or hate your ass. Do we even call you first lady when you ain't his first last? Do you freak out when I bring up Yvonne or Marla Maples like I'm ripping out old sutures, stitches and staples? When he's out tipping on and nurturing other bitches, do you feel helpless? Why didn't you storm out after Stormy Daniels? Or speak out more on the Gen 6 rebellions? When it comes to this November, don't help them. Choose yourself, girl, don't go to hell with them. Damn Marianne and Fred, I know both of you motherfuckers is dead. Call it religion, talk conspiracy and ghosts, I don't care. You're still his parents and some shit I wanna get off my chest. Marianne, by all accounts, you went that bad, but doesn't seem how your boy treats women make her sad. As a woman, you should have known to raise him to have more respect, but you raised a horrible piece of excrement, someone that became impossible to not resent. And you, Fred, probably feel like you were a great parent, but all his toxic traits I can see from who he did inherit. The boy's you with worse hair and no business acumen. Maybe if you actually got caught for profiteering, this shit stain wouldn't have been our president. If you're trying to ruin as many lives as possible, then giving him that $1 million loan was one hell of an investment. But now sit down and listen, cause I'm gonna be candid. Your son's a horrible fucking person. I think that him and his cronies should be locked up for life. Them undemocratic totalitarians like him shouldn't be able to run for 2024 or anything else for the rest of their lives. Blame you for his power fetish. It's a narcissistic obsession with himself and public attention. You didn't nurture his soul with love, but only predatory ambition. Now the only time the man can feel anything is when he's destroying a nation. You raised the boy so stupid he kept classified information in a place he goes on vacation. A top secret files moved by people whose badges said janitor was their occupation. I wish you could have been alive to see the humiliation of your family's name. Your legacy is ruination. Your names we know next to a Lord Schicklgruber in historic documentation. And they're pieces of shit that father monsters that ruin nations. And the worst part, Fred, is that if you were still alive, you wouldn't even be ashamed of him. Just look at what you did to Fred Jr. when he didn't want to be the heir to your empire of blood and sin. You and Donald mocked him, made fun of him, just because it was planes and not buses and nations he was piloting, likening him to a bus driver or a chauffeur like there's something wrong with them. But no, Fred, you forget your own origin. Your daddy Trump was a barber immigrant that changed his name to Trump so he could fit in. He should have wiped after he shit out his first kid, but he didn't, so now we're left with this shit stain. Meet the Trumps. Damn Mary Leah and all the other good people that's cursed with the Trump name, I dedicate this verse to you to let you know that you're brave, that we people appreciate you disowning and calling out his name. The world you be living in must be insane. The hurt costs, but not only sharing his last name, but seeing your whole family rip apart at the seams for what seems pointlessly poorly thought out alliance to gain political relevance. Not just your family lives, a billion other Americans that did upend. You could sleep at night knowing you did not stand by this monster, this sycophant. And because of that, you do not need to share in his fate. We all know how that will end. Turns the gun from America on himself, points up, and well, I'd recommend turning on the movie That Winter Gun and skipping to the end. Dear Donnie, I'm sorry if it feels like I'm destroying your political party. Unlike you, I don't have a hating bone in my body. Like I said when I was sworn in as president, I'm here to be a leader for all Americans. That includes you, Donald, even your supporters, family, colleagues, and friends. You should have let Barry's jokes slide past you, no harm was meant. What the fuck kind of pussy shit is it to destroy a nation to prove a point? You're trying to bypass our legal system, make it null and void. You have no respect for democracy. Even the Republicans see it was a catastrophe. Turned their party of libertarians, Bush-era Republicans, middle-of-the-road conservatives into a party that rhymes with Yahtzee. What's up with being in the black book of the fella that hung himself? Epstein tells of you getting little girls no older than 15 to give you back rubs and massage your old man feet. I personally know my limits and sniff only when I get the opportunity. And don't get me wrong, my fellow Bill was a regular. The Daily Express he often wrote on, but I just find it suspicious you speak on other sins but not your own. That whole bullshit about Pizzagate that you have to get overblown. Calls everyone satanic child molesters, but we all know what happens in your home. All the misinformation about Hillary's emails that you get helpful from a foreign nation, and all the name calling, kish galloping, and the bad faith shit. It's a vile style in which you debated. That's why it didn't work on me in 2020, won't work in 24 either, cause I came prepared, bitch. Building up the resentment because you clowns kept me from retirement. Now I gotta do 4 more years of this shit to keep you from being this country's end. We already saw what you did when you were president. Banned Muslims through a presidential command. Had kids put in cages on the border like it was a concentration camp. Only legislation you did implement. The last it was a tax cut for you and your rich friends. Ruined our reputation because of how idiotic you handled international relations. When the nation was dying with COVID, you fled to Mar-a-Lago and went on vacation. Convinced the people not to trust Fauci, but still got yourself the vaccination. If you're gonna serve vets fast food, at least get some good shit like Wendy's instead of McDonald's with cheap decoration. You probably helped lay the groundwork for the Ukrainian invasion. But all of this won't matter when you're trying to pull out of the accords made at the Paris Convention, because before long we'll all be dead because of the whole climate change situation. Donald, you were probably always going to be a horrible person, just based on you were raised and you had greedy ambitions. But you could have fooled us. You used to be that funny business guy with loads of features in movies like Home Alone and we all saw in theaters, and wrestling shows on TV with The Rock and John Cena. Had a funny show about running a business called The Apprentice on TV. And that could have been it, Donald, your legacy, if you just shut up and never took a shot at public office or the presidency. But now I have to cock back, aim, and get you on your knees. Hope for your own sake that you end up in jail. Take the sentence with humility. Fade back into the place you belong. Irrelevancy. If you don't, and step up to the plate and face me, I promise you a travesty. Annihilation more terrifying than your worst dreams. Your brain won't handle it. You'll have to go into mental recovery. Be put in a cell with walls and floors made out of pillows in which you can sleep. Walk onto the debate stage and face a monstrosity. Dark Brandon, my alter ego that engages in your sophistry. I'm better at it than you'll ever be. So come autumn, I will break you down piece by piece. Tear off your hair piece. Get that orange gone off your skin bleached. Reveal the pathetic loser you really are for all to see. Fuck a presidential race. It's a lifelong race to get yourself.